Hello students, welcome back to our video. So in the last video we completed the chapter number 7. So from today we are going to start with the new chapter, that is chapter number 8, economic reforms. So in this chapter you are going to learn about the objectives of economic policy reforms since 1991, then meaning of liberalization, privatization, globalization, then meaning of foreign investment in India, foreign direct investment, India's foreign trade policy, then stages of India's foreign trade, and lastly the evaluation of the economic reforms. Okay, so now let's start. So let's start with some of the important points of this chapter. So in that, the first point is objectives of economic policy reforms since 1991. So what were the objectives of economic policy since the reforms was introduced from since 1991? We are going to look at that. Okay, so the first objective is to encourage the private and foreign investments in order to utilize the India's abundant natural and human wealth for the economic development. So this means that to encourage means to motivate the private and the foreign investments, like to utilize the India's abundant means large. India has very large quantity. India's large quantity natural and human wealth for the economic development. That was the first objective, to utilize the India's natural resources and the human wealth for the economic development. Then second objective was for optimum and efficient allocation of the nation's resources. That means that if the natural resources are unevenly distributed, right? So the second objective was to utilize the natural resources in optimized way and efficient allocation. Means to use the natural resources properly, like not to do the misuse of the natural resources. Okay, that was the motive. Like to use the natural resources in optimum and efficient allocation of the nation's resources. That was the second objective. Then the third objective was to restrict the expenditure of the state and to utilize the resources recovered from the disinvestment in public enterprises for the welfare of the people. So the third objective was to restrict. Restrict means to reduce the expenditure, reduce the expenses of the state, and to utilize the resources recovered from the disinvestments in public enterprises for the welfare of the people, for doing the good for the people. Okay, that was the third objective. Then fourth one was to increase the domestic income, employment and export income of the country. Domestic income means India is our domestic country, right? Domestic country. So just to increase the domestic income, then employment opportunity and the export income of the country, economic policy reforms was introduced. Then the next one is to increase the competitiveness of the Indian economy. This means you all know that if there is a competition, everyone will try their best to win that thing, right? If there is competition, right? You all know if you have a competition, then you will try your best to win that competition. Same way, to increase the competitiveness in the Indian market or Indian economy, so that every company can do its best. That's why the economic policy reforms was introduced. And the last one was to ensure the steady income growth and economic growth and development of the Indian economy in the long run. Steady means like equally, to ensure the equal economic growth. Steady means not sudden rise in the economic growth, not sudden below the economic growth, right? So there should be steady economic growth and the development of the Indian economy in the long run. So these were the following objectives of the economic policy reforms since 1991. Okay, so this we discussed the first point. Then second point is meaning of liberalization. What is liberalization? Liberalization means increase in the freedom of private sector by allowing greater play of market forces and reduce the interference by state on economic activity. In simple words, we can say that before 1991, before liberalization was introduced, like private sector was not given the opportunity, or we can say private sector were not allowed to like do their business, like they were not given the freedom. Okay, liberalization provided the freedom to the private sector. Liberalization increased in the freedom of private sector by allowing the greater play of market forces and reduce the interference by state on economic activity. So in private sector, like government has a less control. That's why just to give the more freedom to the private sector, liberalization was introduced. Increasing the role of private sector means increasing the role of private sector and market-oriented processes in economic planning in place of state-regulated economic processes in India's mixed economic system is called liberalization of Indian economy. That means in a market, private sector is also increasing, and along with that, public sector is also increasing. So our economy, our Indian economy is a mixed economy because importance is given both to the private sector as well as public sector. Private sector also plays their role in market, and public sector also plays their role in market. Therefore, our Indian economy has the mixed economy. That is known as the liberalization of Indian economy. Okay, so this was the meaning of liberalization. The next one is process of liberalization in India. So what is the process of liberalization in India? So we are going to discuss this in the next video. So if you have any questions or any doubts, please feel free to comment below the video. Thank you.